welcome to an unnamed podcast so far about urban exploring and our Lost to Time / Steel City Storm adventures in the Northwest Indiana area. We've ventured outside that, but for now, most of our stuff is based in Gary because the reality of it is that it's close to us and it's pretty wide open to explore. My name's Joel Henderson. With me today is Paul King.
Hello.
Yeah, okay. I didn't really set you up with a question there. Fair enough. You want to tell us who you are, etc., age, weight, dick size, things like that?
Not really about those, but I would like to touch on some things.
I don't want to touch on those things.
Paul
either.
King, obviously, those out there watching the podcast. And on the internet, I'm Steel City Storm. And when I get my inner exploring, irritated personality going, I'm the Savage Storm.
Okay.
But, go ahead.
So my name's Joel Henderson. I've been doing video stuff since about 2004, and I started doing urban exploring. I mean, if you want to call it that, that's basically the term, right? That's
Absolutely.
That's not considered douchey to be like,
no,
that's the term. So anyway, my cousin Anthony Madrinian, who goes on these adventures with me, we hadn't spoken for about, say, 12 years. And then we started slowly talking again at family gatherings, like for Christmas mainly. So once a year from 2014, 15, and 16. And then at 16, he told me about the Castle House in Lake Station, right? That's where it is.
Right, I lived right down the street. I've seen that house for a long time. I actually knew, my brother knows people who lived in there. And if you go down Deep River past the Castle House, how you can see in the window, they used to have a real big polar bear in the window all the time. I always remember that.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So he mentioned wanting to go there, saying he found this abandoned house. And me being somebody who does a daily vlog where I'm filming every day anyway, it was like, well, first of all, this could be cool to film. You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
Something interesting to put on camera. I had no idea I would enjoy it as much as I did.
I wish I could have
what
gotten
mean?
there, to be honest.
And then the other benefit to it was just getting to hang out with him. You know what I mean? Like a reason for us to hang out. There wasn't this pretense. None of the previous bullshit mattered anymore. It was just like, okay, we're doing this thing. And we got to have that relationship that we had when we were kids, and there was none of the drama. So that was my main impetus for going. But then once we got in there, I mean, I was like instantly hooked. I wasn't shooting stuff nearly as nice as I think I am now, but just like, holy shit, I couldn't believe that a house that nice had gone into such disrepair.
You mean kind of like Gary, all the buildings?
Right. I mean, we didn't even get there yet, but that was like, we went and did that. And I mean, it was a fun day. We went. It
looked like a fun. I loved watching
it. It was
that.
downpour snow.
I think I've watched that 3 times.
Crazy snow the whole day. And I brought my drone, but I forgot the battery or something like that. The battery was dead.
Like I do with the SD card?
Yeah. So I had to drive. We had to drive all the way back to Crown Point to get it.
Oh, did you?
And go all the way back to the Castle
right,
House.
That's right. You said something about that on there, didn't you?
So, I mean, it was a fun day overall. It was a lot longer than you would think it would take to cover one house.
Yeah.
And I mean, not to just repeat the stuff that's in the video.
But you took your time at doing it, I think.
Tony leaving me in the basement and walking away when my light burned out.
Your very first explore too, right?
Yeah, my very first don't have on a Lost to Time.
Oh, I got the same thing,
What was your first? When did you first? Now, I've heard you tell me in the past that you've done things like this when you were growing up. Like
Absolutely. I have a lot of other.
Tell me a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Let me see. Well, kind of like same story you said when we did the interview on my the Steel City Storm at YouTube channel. Make sure you check that out. Good interview.
Absolutely, get all the plugs in for sure. I mean, if they're listening to this, they need to be watching both channels.
Sure.
For sure.
I think it kind of started out kind of like with you. And I'm going to tell you a story real quick. It's going to kind of touch on something. I think it's interesting.
Oops, I guess I shouldn't have the volume up from our own live stream on in front of me. Sorry, carry on. I was just reading the question. Somebody said it's occupied now, isn't it?
Whoa. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they redid it. Somebody bought it and redid it. We drove past there a couple times within a couple months. And Somebody's definitely remodeled it. You've seen a bunch of stuff outside.
Carry on. It's just said something about the live broadcast has been... No, it's not been interrupted. That's weird.
Oh.
Technical shit, sorry.
That's all right. Hey, this is our...
So
this is
what were we
right?
talking about? Oh, the Castle House. Shit, sorry. That's
you asked me
I was
about my
trying to-
first one, how I got into it, and probably same with what you said on the interview at the Steel City Storm YouTube channel. I got a camcorder for my kids.
Okay.
So I wanted to record the kids, you know, holidays, which I have a million of them. You can ask my mom. She probably has them all. On VHS and stuff like that. And it was just, I always enjoyed it. Kids, you can't go wrong filming the kids. There's no, I don't care how many times you film, there's always something funny.
Oh, you're talking about when you got a camcorder to film your kids growing
so
up?
I got hooked on that part of it. Going to the park with them and doing things. But then one night, about 5 o'clock in the morning, I have witnesses. My brother will tell you this.
Okay.
And so will my mother. It's the truth. About 5 o'clock in the morning, back when I used to drink, I woke up and I had such a dry mouth. I'll never forget that. And I kind of staggered in there half drunk after being asleep for 3 hours. Went to the kitchen, which looked out the window down to Deep River. Okay?
Okay.
Actually, Riverside Drive and Lake Station is where I lived at. And I seen these flashing lights. I'm like, what in the heck is all that? And I looked, and it was like a lights that you haven't seen before. It was really weird. So I looked out the window, and over the river, beyond
through
the tree
the woods,
line, yeah,
to grandmother's
well,
house.
my house kind of looked over the back of the property had a concrete patio. And
Okay.
it dipped down, and it went way out to the tree line and Deep River.
Oh, okay.
And
So sort of like the way it worked at the Castle House.
absolutely,
Where you dropped off.
Yeah, it's actually I lived on that same view of the side of the street,
Okay.
the same river.
Was it deep?
That's why it's Deep River.
Okay.
And I seen these lights, and I couldn't believe it. I thought, I was still drunk.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, I'm tripping, and I look, and it was a flying saucer over the water. So at the time, my children's, all three of my kids' mom, my wife at the time, I woke her, I said, you got to see this. Tell me I'm freaking out. So she looked out there and it was a flying saucer.
Okay.
So I grabbed my camcorder.
Okay.
It's all tying into the camcorder. Let me do your line. I'm going to neatly tie this all in.
Right. Let's just bring it all together.
Yeah. So I grabbed the camcorder and I recorded it. And it was about 5:30ish in the morning now. I recorded it for about a half hour.
Okay.
You can clearly see what it was.
Yeah.
But it was dark. And so the light started coming up, just a barely crack of morning light. This thing lifted over the tree line. And I have a perfect picture of a flying disc. And it went 1, 2, 3 frames. It was gone. Like when you stop and play frame by frame.
Right.
It went pop, pop, pop. And it was gone. It was a flying saucer.
Yeah.
I was hooked.
That's
why I have an obsession with flying saucers. And also when I was younger, we lived in Hobart, and a flying saucer, we were going to go to the Lake County Fair, and then we were with my babysitter at the time. I was about 9, 10 years old. This big old disc came right over us and just hovered right over us. And the whole block seen it, but nobody talked. It wasn't in the paper or anything. So that was back to the camcorder. Ever since then, I always thought about doing a podcast, not a podcast, but interviewing people. Like going to see the wrestlers and maybe catching one of them outside, but I never did it. So, fast forward to time now, we have the technology, we have drones, we have the GoPro camera, which I use. Well, it's actually a queso camera. Queso, you can't afford a GoPro.
Uh-huh.
And no, really, it is called the queso. I've showed you.
I've seen it.
And but anyway, now fast forward in time.
So did anybody give you any shit about the
I used to show it at parties. We'd have card parties at my house, and I'd show it. I made a copy of it so I could put it into VH. I still have it.
Yeah.
I've never showed it to anybody. It kind of.
What do you mean you've never shown it to anybody?
Because I'm waiting.
For what?
All through those years, this was 20-something years ago.
So this has all inspired your van with the alien stuff on it.
Absolutely. I used to have bad dreams all the time.
Do you remember the movie?
What
was it? Fire in the Sky or something like that?
Yeah, I've seen all the
movie
UFO
freaked
movies.
me out when I was a kid.
They're here. I mean, they're just not in another planet. I think they came from another planet, but
I have nothing against the idea of
They're
there being.
underwater.
I don't think that it's cosmically possible for us to be the one place that has life. When you see the scale, it's stupid. It doesn't even make any sense.
But not only that, I think that they're not in another.
But then the question becomes, why haven't they reached out? And it's like, we're probably not worth it.
Because they're already here.
Yeah, but we're probably not worth it. What do we really have that other things wouldn't already have come up with? Presumably we're just a speck on a piece, a little ball of dirt somewhere in the galaxy.
We're a seashell on the beach.
Yeah, it's nothing. We're a speck of sand on the beach.
Well, I like to think of myself as a seashell, but I think that some people are given a gift of enlightenment, and I believe that I've always had that gift of enlightenment. Like, I see things different than other people. I remember watching.
Well, do you think there's a purpose then to the seeing the sightings of aliens and stuff?
I think it's a coincidence because they're not going to come from one planet to another and keep seeing them going like getting off I-65 or the freeway. I believe in my heart, when you look at an alien, it almost looks like a whale. The way its head's shaped, the way its cranium shaped, little eyes, it looks like a mammal. I believe the reason that we cannot figure out where they're coming from is because they're already here and they are under the ocean somewhere. It's safe. Every time you see a flying saucer footage, it's over water. If it's doing anything of any, like if it's lighting up or if it's acting weird or if it's doing something crazy, it's always over water.
So in that case, it would be that if you're seeing them, it's because you're seeing them actually take off as opposed to come and go.
They're not coming from another planet. I think they're going out there and looking around. And they're coming back. They're like us. It's a space race.
So what would be the end game there? Like, what would be the point of hiding underwater?
I don't know. I can't figure out God's master plan, but I do know.
So you think God's in charge of the aliens too?
God is everything. God is everything. It's God is just everything. I believe in God I believe just like saying Jesus is God's son, right?
They say you should have devil's advocate, so I'm the atheist on the podcast
Jesus God's
as well.
Son?
So,
do you believe Jesus is God's son?
I think it's a good story that teaches people morals, and I have nothing I don't begrudge anybody who's into it. But to me, no, it's all unrealistic stuff.
It's a way of putting a story where people listen.
Right. It's a good moral groundwork.
I believe this. The reason I asked you that, do you believe Jesus is God's son? Not to get religious, because I'm not a religious person, but here it is. Ready? Here's my answer.
I believe that is what the mythology teaches us.
And you're God's son, and so am I. We're all God's children. So obviously Jesus is his son, but he was enlightened with the word of doing right and showing people right from wrong. I believe that the Bible and rules are put in place to keep the masses from destroying each other, and that's kind of what the aliens are doing.
The most non-politically correct version of that I've heard was a buddy of mine's grandpa said, and I don't believe this at all. I just thought it was funny that he would say it so bluntly. He goes, "Women need something to believe in," and what he meant was weak-minded people need something to believe in. And I thought it was a shitty comment, but it made me laugh. But you know what I mean? And I don't criticize it to that degree. I think that it is something that people need to feel like there's something more than this. I like to hope that this is it. It feels like heaven and earth is all here and blah, blah, blah. The good, the bad is all the shit you experience in your life. And that's it. Do you remember anything before you were born?
No, you ever have deja vu where you have a dream like you were someplace else another time?
Yeah.
It's because of reincarnation.
Well, but do you remember anything from before you were born, or was it just like a billions of years of black?
I've had some weird dreams though. Like it was so realistic. One time, example.
We will get back to adventuring here. This isn't a God podcast.
This is going to be a good story though. One morning,
bring it all together here.
I was really sick. I had the flu, and I was getting over it. And you know how you get these weird dreams and you're real sick, and you've been having medicine in you, and you're just overwhelmed. And I had a dream that I was looking at these people with sandals on, and like I was trying to look between them, see what they were all standing around a big circle for. Okay. And they were watching ants build an anthill, and they were drawing a pyramid in the sand next to the ants. They built the pyramids after the ants. You know how ants, because they build a mound and they go down, they have tunnels and chambers.
Yeah.
That's how. In the dream, I was watching.
The mic picks up all of your tappy taps. By the way,
while I was doing Okay. But I don't know. It's not to get off adventure things, but I believe in weird things like that. Reincarnation, aliens.
So what do you think the aliens would be here for? Any ideas? Or is it just kind of like, it seems plausible, so you'll go with it? Or
I think maybe that they're responsible for keeping the ocean life, because like life above the ocean, life under the ocean is two different things. We don't live with fish, and fish don't live with us. We go underwater to live with them, we die.
The ocean's one of the only uncharted places on Earth.
Right. And that is where I believe that...
So if they charted it, if they were somehow able to chart it all and show, like, say you could get like Google Earth, but of under the ocean, would that satisfy your curiosity in that regard, in terms of like,
not really,
if there was nothing?
Well, how can you look under the ridges and stuff, like, say, you know, where land is, and then under that, you can never Google Earth under that. So you can only see what... I believe you can only see what they want you to see. Kind of like NASA, you know, when they do their things of the man on the moon, the great debate. Did man really land on the moon, or was it set up? It's a great debate. And I think that aliens is what's more plausible. Aliens coming from billions of galaxies away to just come in and out and check on us, just fly around for a few minutes, take back, or that they're already here, they're up in the air looking at what we're doing, and then going back down there and said, okay, these guys are getting a little carried away now. They're polluting the water. They have
so then they would be some, in this scenario, they would be some sort of like Captain Planet.
Yes.
For lack of a better term.
Yes.
So
absolutely. I'll go with that.
Okay. So who would be sending said Captain Planet to our planet to monitor us? Why would the galaxy give a shit?
I think there's a higher...
Who are we? Why do we matter then?
Because what we do to the water...
Wouldn't it just be like, fuck it, let them all die?
Well, if we pollute the ocean, then we're polluting their home.
Well, I know, but I'm saying for somebody to send the aliens here, this planet would have to be important in some way, right?
I don't think nobody sent them here. I think it's just kind of our own... Just like with us with exploring, it's your natural curiosity makes you want to see how these people are and what they're doing, and same thing how we're curious about how they are, who they are.
So do you imagine then that like they've stayed there for long enough that other generations of them have occurred?
There's pictures of flying saucers in the Bible. So
quick query then: are the born on Earth aliens, or are they Earthians?
I think so. I call them an Earthian.
They've been born here, so right? Aren't they just as much of the Earth as we would be at that point? If there's multi-generation, it's like you know, an immigrant thing. If a kid's born here, they're an American. You know, so like if aliens are breeding and living in our oceans, aren't they just not aliens anymore? They're just part of our thing.
We call people who are not from our country aliens when they come here. So they're all aliens.
Well, that's to America, but to Earth, the alien part is because they're from elsewhere. These would be from here at that point, right?
I believe that there's an order of if you want to call it not government, but
you think it's kind of like they're popping back and forth, like somebody would be saying from the other planet, wherever they would come from, come here, check their shit out, report back in a bit, and then, you know what I mean, like sending different teams, so to speak. Right.
Can you imagine an alien coming back and going, here, check this out. This is what they're doing now.
For the record, I have no idea what we're talking about.
We're just talking like friends and have do the podcast. We don't know what we're doing. This is our first podcast. Just think of it. Here, scenario this.
So tie it to your van.
Don't take a drink when I ask you this, because I don't want you to spit and blame me. All right, you asked for it. Say an alien comes back and he goes down there and he goes, 50 years ago, here's Paul Anka. We note that. Here's Elvis. Look at Michael Jackson. And then they go down there now, they're like, uh-oh, we're in trouble. What? He hands them a little Wayne CD. There's where they're going. Look, what is wrong with those people up there?
There's plenty of good music. Don't be crotchety, old guy. Come on. There's plenty of good stuff.
That's my role. That's what I do.
Just pick a terrible rapper as an example.
You said it. I just said Lil Wayne.
And specifically, he's a terrible rapper. I mean,
thank you.
That's just my opinion. So, where did you first go? Like when you were a kid, where was the first thing that you went inside?
As far as filming it?
No, I just mean
apartment buildings.
Yeah.
And houses on the block that people moved out of.
You find any cool shit or anything?
Well, people used to leave stuff behind all the
Right.
time. We would take it home to my mom. Hey, Mom, look, I got a new end table.
I think the statute of limitations is passed on that.
Well,
We're
back in
probably
those
good.
days, it was all different. If we knew, especially when you knew the people, I remember one specific time we had an apartment building right next to our house. And it was like 3 apartments. One of the people was really cool with my mom. He used to cut her grass and stuff all the time for her.
Okay.
And he'd say, hey, we're going, I don't remember, but she said that those people said they're moving out. And there's going to be some stuff left behind. Go over there and take a look and see if there's anything good. So we went over there and did it. And there was all kinds of, like, bunch of plates. And I remember a really nice corner table. Oh, we got a stereo out of it, too. And I got to keep that for my bedroom. Yeah, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. And then and it was so cool back then that after we got done with it, we just locked the door and boom. Then like a month later, somebody else ran into the place and, you know.
Oh, so just kind of left it, just closed it up
absolutely.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Was it open originally, or did you have to break in?
No, he left it open when he left, and we seen him leave. And he's like, "You guys go in there, don't make no
I'm gonna have
mess."
to
You
get
know?
you a towel like I did for Jeremy for 2 weeks.
Why?
Until he stopped tapping the table.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just put a big towel down, and then it was like
that. So
soften the blow.
Right, right.
Get rid of it all.
I'll put a book over here. How's that?
That's right. Then you're just
I know.
so after the apartments. Like, what was the first?
Real Explorer.
Yeah, like what do you consider your first Real Explorer?
As far as YouTube, I meant to put it on YouTube, and I knew that the Cinema 1 and 2 over on Route 12, where Kmart and Zara's was in that corner, there used to be a Cinema 1 and 2. Me and my cousin Adrian would go there all the time.
Oh, okay. You're talking over by where like the Ponderosa was?
Yeah, right behind the Ponderosa.
We went to check that place out, and then they had already done something with it.
I seen them tearing it down.
Yeah.
Well, I seen it falling down. I was like, why won't they do anything to that? You know what? Let me go grab my camera because I had one.
Okay.
And I went over and I filmed it. If you look back on my...
when was that?
It was it was about 3 years back. I'd say about 3 years. And I also did the Humane Society one with my phone. I did the vertical.
Yeah.
If you look back at some of my first videos...
Shit, dude, you were trying it, though. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, no. What else? I did something else, too. But, I mean, it pretty much started off with that. And I never put it on YouTube.
Do you still have it?
Oh, it's on my channel.
Oh, you did put it up, though, eventually.
I found it on an old phone.
Right.
And I uploaded it. And then I found that old camera, and I uploaded it. And it took me forever to figure out how to get it on YouTube. But, yeah, it's on there. It's the Y&W one. I'm the only person that's ever done it. I know that because I've searched over and over.
Oh, you can't find anything else on it?
No. If you go on the World Wide Web and put Cinema 1 and 2 Gary, Indiana, you will see my video.
Nice.
Yeah. I got a cool shirt on, too.
I got a cool shirt
I
on,
do, man.
too.
It's a red shirt. I'm like, this is But, yeah, I mean, that started it, and I really didn't... I posted, I think, for... my page was called The Steel City Idol at the time.
Okay. You said that was a DJ thing, right?
Well, that was before then. That was way before then.
What the DJ thing was?
Yeah. About 20 years ago, I was on a program called Pal Talk, and it was video conferencing. It was like one of the first formats of video conferencing. It was like the beta version of it. And what it was is a chat room where you see people over here, you see their names, and you just kind of chat, old school, America Online old school stuff, when it first came, you had to hear
right. Yeah, all the annoying noises.
They came out with you put cameras where you actually can buy the camera and put it on top of your
right, a little
computer.
webcam.
Yeah. And I had that, and I used to play music. I learned how to do it. It was all self-taught. I stayed up, wasted so many nights of sleep. But I don't know. I get into stuff like that, just like with us, the drone thing now, and getting into videotaping with the iPhone. I don't want to do it. Oh my God, I started doing it. Now I can't help myself.
Oh, right. It's so easy.
It's like a drug, man. Yeah. I mean, it's like a great drug. Once you start doing it, it's like, oh man, I got to have
what
more.
issues did you have getting into this? Like when you started, what were you using? What, you know what I mean? Where did you run into hiccups? Like for other people that might be interested in trying something like this, what did you have to push through? Trying
to get everything off of a camera and a camcorder was very difficult to figure out. So I actually went to YouTube and put, how do you do this? How do you do that? And it was just, I don't know, it was crazy. But I found the easiest thing for me to do was I figured I'd go online and give me a small little camera where I could record it. You hit stop, play,
start, right.
You pop out the card, you put it in the side of your laptop, and you go from there. And that's when I got the Acaso, and I started doing drive. I thought it'd be nice to do drive around, so I mounted one on my dash in my van, put it on there, and then I couldn't figure out, back in those days, it's like, I look back at those old videos, it's like, oh my God, where a lot of noise,
right,
and you hear wind,
right.
Like, man, that's not very relaxing. Right. Then I figured out how to strip the sound out, and
right,
put music over it,
right,
and I was off and running after that.
Yeah. So what did you do for music at the start? Because YouTube has gotten a lot stricter lately on using copywritten music. So probably at the time it wasn't a thing?
I just started doing that. I just started doing it about a year ago. So, I mean, it wasn't too bad. I think I did find it was YouTube music, just kind of the generic
Oh, that's
beats.
right. They have music in YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's what you've been using for that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, now I don't. I mean, now I have different sources, little tidbits of this and that, and...
Who are you getting music from? Anybody you want to plug?
Michael Grant and the Assassins.
Okay. Where would somebody find them online?
Go to Michael. He actually has a Facebook page, and he has a lot of videos on YouTube. I did an interview with him. I interviewed him, actually. He was with a band called End Ever After, which nobody really knew of. I've seen Cinderella at Star Plaza, which you knocked out like out of this world. Best Explorer I've seen in a long time. Just want to plug you real quick. And, man, I went to see Cinderella and Poison, believe it or not. And they opened for these guys.
Was that a double bill? They on the same show?
It was the same week, I think. I think it was one following the other. And
okay.
But anyway, we went and seen Cinderella. Won tickets off the radio.
Okay.
And went and seen them and hang out in the parking lot, just // hanging out in the parking lot, chilling, Seeing these guys, it's like, man, these guys look like they're in the band. I've never seen them before, but come to find out it was End Ever After. One word. End Ever After.
Okay.
And talked to a customer, man, you guys with the band? What band you guys with? And I can hear those guys talking, and then all of a sudden I smell bud. Like, uh-oh. I say, man, hung out for a few, talked, and caught like 2 of their songs at the end, because we went in, and they were playing, jamming, and I was like, man, these kids are good. They're like some young kids, and they were really good. They had the Led Zeppelin look, bell bottoms, long hair, killing it, slashing it, rock and roll, gritty. It's like, what in the world? So I went and looked them up, and they had not even released a CD. Then they released a CD. I bought it. I loved it. And then Michael Grant.
He's in that band?
Yes, he writes, produces. It's all of his baby. He does everything. And after that, he joined LA Guns.
Precursor to Guns N' Roses?
Yeah. No, not that long. He was in it for like 3 years. He joined him like 3 years ago and just either quit or got kicked out or whatever. But he's doing his own thing now. Oh,
I was thinking for some reason, I thought there was a band, LA Guns, and then something Roses.
Yeah,
and
LA Guns.
Yeah, okay, it was that.
The guy that was in LA Guns was with Axl and Slash at one point in time, I guess, when they first started off. And they broke off before they got famous. And he started LA Guns, and then Guns N' Roses was born.
Gotcha.
And they were both pretty, because when Guns N' Roses hit it big, they made sure they took care of their guys and put them on a bunch of bills with them and everything. But Michael Grant and the Assassins is his latest project. Man, it's killer.
So how did you get him to give you music? Do you just use the stuff he's already made?
I talked to him in the interview. I do an interview with him, and he just inspired me. I never really asked him to do it. I just use short clips of his music here and there on videos.
You didn't ask him if you could?
No. I sent him a text message on Facebook, on Messenger, because that's how I was contacting him. But he's a really cool guy. I just want, it's not malicious or anything. It's not stealing his music. I just want to get, because I've had people ask me, who is that? And I tell them it's Michael Grant and the Assassins. Or End Ever After, both the same.
Right.
So that's pretty much it.
I met my buddy Josh when he hired me to do a photo shoot for him in 2006. He was 16. I was 26. And we just kind of hit it off. I mean, he was funny. You know what I mean? And then he was into music. And some of the first bands were awful, but he had this innate talent to do stuff. And I eventually tried to cultivate that more into him doing rapping, and he wanted to be a rapper too, and then he started doing British rap, and it was great. And he spun off into his current persona, which is Linus Knight is what he goes by on Facebook. and he's been making music for me longer than anybody, really. I mean, I use my brother's band, Asteria. I like getting them to take their original recordings and strip out the vocals so I can use just the instrumentals for stuff, because a lot of times when you get music, I also have this website that I go to. I got a subscription for a year where you can like search by style of music and thing like that.
Right.
And then you can use it forever after that. But I like a lot of those songs are very one note, so to speak. Like there's not a lot of change in the song.
Right.
It doesn't progress and then come back and then, you know what I mean? But a song, like the Asteria songs, they were actual songs. So there was first verse, chorus, second verse, bridge, you know what I mean? Like, so there was all this song structure and different parts to it. So I like using those for that. But, you know, I just thought I'd give them a plug too.
You do have
our
some
musical talent. Oh, Wes Jordan also, he's come with on a few adventures. He gave a lot of the songs, like some of the stuff we used for the Beer Run video. Like those were songs he made.
That's some cool. I do like some of that stuff that you put that one. What was that? Dun, hey, dun, 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 dun. I forgot how to do it, but the one that you used on the Emerson one, when we were walking out the door, when you did the slow motion when we were leaving,
right?
That clip of whatever that song is.
I'll have to check and see what it was.
Hey, dun, 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 dun. It's got a really cool. It's really catchy. I like the crispness of it. It's like. It's crisp.
Oh, music is so key, especially in the adventure videos, to set tone.
Yeah.
I've been so swamped with everything else. That's why I haven't been putting out as many dedicated Lost to Time episodes, because it's really just a matter of I don't have time to sit down and do the proper job of underlaying music that fits the tone of what's going on. I'll just sort of edit it like the vlog, where it's like just throw music on clips that don't have any audio. And I don't really like doing that as much in the Lost to Time. I'd like to have music underlaying it and then bring it up on those parts.
It does seem like a lot of work watching it. I mean, somebody that does a little bit of, I'm a rookie editor. I mean, I just do my little bit of editing in Windows Maker. But
you're going to look back at all this shit in 5 years and be like, wow, how was I doing any of this? Like stuff that you're super proud of now, you're going to be like, what was I thinking? And it doesn't matter. You may still love it, but the reality is just the growth happens so quickly.
It's like watching an old movie with the hairdos and the dress, the way they're dressed. You know, you look at it like, oh my God, you tell that's an old movie.
Right.
I get that. I like that part, though. It's fun to look back.
Yeah, I've seen things in the past. A lot of just stuff I've run into has influenced me over the years. And one of the things being, when I see people put stuff out, there was this like, mockumentary thing somebody put on YouTube about a surfer kid, and it was hilarious, and then it was just gone like a year later, like it never existed. And so anything I've ever made, whether it was Butties, which is us doing stupid British accents, or Blinkered, you know, where we were trying to do something like The Office, it wasn't good, you know, but I left them up there on YouTube on my channel because I like to show the progression of things. I'd like to see. Yeah, it's all up there. There's like 12 episodes of Butties. That's like anywhere from 1 to 10-minute episodes, and then Blinkered is 15-minute episodes, and there's 25 of them.
I'm gonna check that out.
I mean, they got better towards the end, but everybody was dispersing cast-wise. Like people would leave the show, or people just weren't committing to the storylines that I had set up. It was what it was, and that's when I got to the point where it was like, you know what? I can't count on anybody to show up. Who can I count on every day? And I saw Dan Harmon, the creator of Community, do a vlog. And it was, you know, it was part of the subscription to his podcast. You got to see a little behind the scenes of his life. And I watched a couple, and I was like, that was interesting, but those were awful. I could do way better than that. And I know I'm not anybody, but it was just like, well, what if I do this?
You are somebody, though.
But so then one day I just picked up the camera and decided I'm doing it. I'm going to do one every day.
It's not like somebody's going to come knock on your door and say, you know what, Joel?
Yeah, sorry, you're nobody. Stop doing that.
I'm going to make you famous. Come on with me. Let me do everything for you.
That's never going to happen.
The only way it's going to happen is you make yourself, like you told me this word. These are your words.
Okay.
You are building a brand, not a brand to sell, but you're building a brand. And I look at my channel and myself like that now. It's like the Steel City Storm. I used to refer to myself, I still do refer to myself that, but now I'm just going to go with the Storm. you know, because you progress, and I want the channel to be more about maybe
you.
One day I go out and I do something on myself.
Than Gary,
and then the next day I got Butch with me. Then another day maybe my brother. Then one day I got maybe something with my kids. One day maybe my missus. And a lot of times with you guys. I mean, the best thing, in my opinion, that has happened to my channel is, first off, accidentally finding the social rec. Because basically all that was we went, I said, hey man, they closed Ming Ling's down. You ever been there? He's like, no, that'd be cool looking at. And I was like, man, let's go check it out. I mean, after, like I said before, watching you guys and being inspired to get out there and try to do.
Well, give us a timeline on this. When are you talking about right now?
The Ming Ling one? Oh God, that was the first one me and Butch did together. Me and Social.
Well, good. We finally got to the current day first.
Right.
So you and how do you know him?
I grew up right around the corner. I knew both
and
his brothers.
We're all public figures, so to speak. We've put our names out there in these videos. I'm not trying to big us up, but what I'm saying is, if you want to say who he is on Facebook, if people want to.
Oh, it's my guy, Ronald Joseph James.
Okay.
His name is my name too. So whenever we go out,
so he goes by Butch. Or you just call him that?
His Ronald Joseph James is his name.
On Facebook, right.
But everybody's always known him as Butch.
Where did that come from?
On the internet, we call him Social Rec.
Okay, and why do you call him a Social Rec?
Because he is a Social Rec.
Okay.
He's my guy. He's a good friend of mine, and
so
we never really were tight growing up. He's more my brother's buddy.
Okay.
And he started working where I did, so we kind of hung out for a little bit, and he talked about going exploring. And when we did Ming Ling, I'll never forget coming home. He went, "I'm hooked, man. We got to do this more. We got, man, and we just started throwing it. Junedale, man. We can do Junedale. We can do this. We can do the schools. And it sounded fun. It's like something to do besides going out and, I don't know.
Well, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Getting drunk, getting high is great.
Yeah,
but eventually you got to do something,
I've never
right?
done that, though. I mean, it doesn't really...
Here's my thoughts. You could do that while being drunk and high.
Right, and some people do. I mean, but I just think that, back to the subject, after we went all the way from the aliens to the creators of YouTube videos, is that I wanted... Number one thing there's two things for me to be very important about the Steel City Storm channel. And number one is protect the channel with everything. Treat it like it's your baby, like it's a creation, like it's
Makes sense.
It's an ongoing movie that you can't lose any parts of it because it's already been taped, it's done, you can't recreate it. Number two is make sure it always stays fun for not just me, for the people I'm with.
Right.
And the viewers to always stay. And I had to go inside myself to really let go on a camera to talk to people I have no idea, to let people judge me. So you're an idiot, or you're so cool, or or shut up, old man, or hey man, I used to go to that school. Just people come at you, and people can be mean and cruel. And I had it in my head that I can deal with this because
it's harder than it seems. Isn't
oh gosh, yeah. I just had somebody the other night, like 2 nights ago, threaten me. And, I said, well, you got to do what you got to do, and I got to do what I got to do. And I went to his name. After I seen the comment, I went to his name, went to his page. I blocked him from the page. I went back, and I deleted the comment, and I went about my business.
Yeah.
I don't let people like that bother me. If they got something to say to me,
You have no idea how hard it is for me to let go of somebody.
Oh, just I can imagine. I know you a little bit now.
Something simple, like just clicking dislike on one of my videos. I'm like, what the fuck in there was worth disliking that you came here to watch?
I have a Phantom disliker. And I figured out who it was this guy I worked with.
Yeah.
And he was like, I told him about the YouTube channel. Well, the reason I figured out, because I'm not going to mention his name, but his videos are still up there. And Butch will know Social Rec will know exactly who I'm talking about. I told him about the channel, right? And he was in a couple of them, like trying Mexican candy and stuff like that. And he was on there, and he'd leave a comment, I know I look good on there, and he'd give a thumbs up, and
right.
And then every video that he wasn't on, he gave it like in a day. I had a thumbs down in every video. I was like, I knew exactly. So I took him off the page. I found his name on YouTube, and I blocked him, and I didn't have no dislike. And I went to work. I said, I know it was you. I don't know what you're talking about. I said, I know you're the one disliking my videos. Well, I ain't the one. How do you know? I said, because YouTube gives me a notification who dislikes videos. He looked at me and went, no, they don't. I said, yeah, if you're a creator, you can see who dislikes your video.
He went, lying to him.
Hey, man, I'm going to take him off tonight. Don't worry about it. I said, no, you're blocked anyway. But yeah, I'll tell that story. That's a funny one. But
I mean, that kind of shit, it is tough because as people who make things, you want people to like them. And if you don't like it, it's so easy to be shitty to somebody and be like, "Oh, that sucks," or "You suck,"
Can
or
you
whatever.
Being a celebrity today, being on TMZ or something.
That's why my goal. You were saying about what your mantra is. You know, you have your things that protect the channel. You know what I mean? That stuff. Mine is never to be famous. That's the last thing I want. I don't want to not be able to go outside without being recognized. Like, it's already weird enough when maybe 3 people recognized me at the Griffith Festival.
Right.
That's strange. I already am like, I'm walking across the street from a van and somebody's like, "It's you." Yeah. I'm like, "Who? What?"
That's okay.
No. I don't have any problem with it, but I'm not seeking that on a grander scale.
Right.
I simply want to make shit that people enjoy watching and satisfy my own creative needs. It's definitely a selfish thing. You know, I need to make stuff. And it's cool if people interact with it. I'd prefer it not just where I make it and it's in a bubble where it's in my head and nobody's even going,
forget details.
We like this or that, we don't like this. Just tell me. If there's something you hate in the videos, I'll do what I can. I'll meet you halfway.
But why?
Because I'm fine with constructive criticism. I'm not going to like change my channel for some douchebag.
Right.
But if somebody's like, "Hey, look, I really like it. If you could just not say cunt."
Understandable.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's different.
If somebody threw something at me like that, I'd be fine with that. It's like, okay, fair enough. We'll try not to do that.
The one what we did.
Like, I'd love your videos except for that. Okay, you know what? I'll concede that to you. Fine.
I wouldn't go as far as say that I would change for them, but I would definitely be in the back of my head, like, you know, I remember that one time. It's like I've had to say something to a couple of the guys and myself.
Because, dude, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're just going out there and doing it.
You know, taking a piss in front of the camera and, you know, stuff like that. I mean, if it's just for a second and you just laugh out of it with somebody's back, you know, it's having fun. And like I said about the channel, I want to keep it fun. It has to stay fun.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree on it. It's got to stay fun. I don't want, I don't know. I enjoy the making stuff side of it. There's been no, you know, reasonable comments here.
Well, we're gonna have
discuss.
That's okay. We're gonna have issues. Anything that grows, I mean, any company that grows, you're gonna have issues. You're just gonna have issues. And I love what I do so much and the channel so much, and
that's what makes it worth pushing beyond the issues.
Exactly.
If we didn't give a shit, you wouldn't even try to fix an issue.
But to think we're not going to get criticized and get talked about or get some crazy shit that happens to us or maybe unforeseen thing.
I was livid when that guy was mad at us about the artwork in the Gary Public Community School Corporation building. We'll explain that further in another episode if this is a podcast we continue.
It will be.
So, but I mean, the way that guy was like, "Oh, good, now let's find the other one, the stuff from Lew Wallace, but let's get some people that care or that treat it with a little more respect." I'm like, motherfucker, us? We're the ones who treated it with disrespect when it's sitting in a building with water leaking on it and was left?
I got a better one. Just happened 3 days ago. Did you hear about Thutone?
What's that?
About the...
well, nobody on here's heard it. It doesn't matter if I've heard it. Tell me.
Because I tried to get a hold of you and you didn't answer, so I figured you're busy. I knew you were filming and stuff. And he's like, "Man, I got to..." When we went and did the abandoned impound and we found that driver's license on the ground,
right?
That girl actually got a hold of me.
Really? That's awesome.
And she sent me through my email and thesteelcitystorm@gmail.com. And she's like, "I can't believe you guys would do this for monetary." And I was like, first off, I thought it was like a murder victim's driver's license. We were just kind of showing what's going on. Second, it's laying in an alley of a building that's collapsed, and we just walked right through this. There's like 4 big holes in the building. We just walked right in.
Right.
And third, you might want to talk to the GPD because we didn't leave it there. And look at all the other stuff. The thing that got me And I told her, she said something about, well, I took the video down and I cut that out.
Right, because what did it show her private
I cut that out.
information or
Yeah,
something?
I didn't
or
know.
Social
It was
Security
a live
number?
and learn thing. Yeah,
Right, for sure.
I took it down, I cut it out, and I actually read it to Tone and I read it to my woman, and they both seen it. I still have it. And it goes on and on. But anyway, the bottom line of it was she wasn't concerned about none of the other stuff that was left behind, just hers. And that's what I think is wrong with people today. It's like you don't see the people, and specifically Gary, Indiana, and I say this with love and a full heart because I'm from there, and I'm not talking about everybody. I'm saying some of the people that were there once upon a time that let it go wrong. It goes like this. You don't have a problem with watching people do drugs, drink, steal cars, rob each other, because when the police come, nobody wants to talk about nothing. Nobody gives up names, so those people keep doing it. But when it's all over and done,
Shit, that's a great point. I never even really thought about
23
that.
years, 20, 30 years later, I just heard this about 2 weeks ago. Exact words. Ready? Hey, man, it's that white boy over there filming stuff. You're worried about me filming it, but you're not worried about these people who did it?
Right.
It blows me away. That gives me my...
Right.
Yeah.
Turns you into...
It brings into my Savage Storm mode. I don't care. I'm from Gary. You guys tore up my hometown, and I'm documenting it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dig
because
on
I mean,
that.
it goes as far as, and it's not just the citizens. You know what I mean? Like, it's the people, the businesses themselves. Whether it was because of the government, the local government there, that you know what I mean. Like, there's a million trickle down reasons as to why it's in the condition it's in now. If any people along the lines had given a shit enough to keep it from getting the way that it was, it wouldn't be the way that it was.
What about the kids?
There's vandals in Crown Point. You know what I mean?
And if you don't say nothing and
but
bust them
people
out,
shut that shit down in Crown
right.
Point.
That's
They don't
right.
fuck around with that stuff. And if they had taken that same interest and tried to do something with the, the buildings, whether it was just, okay, you know what, no one's ever going to use it, tear it down. Let's clear it, let's make it an empty lot. Do that, go that far with it, recycle the materials out of it you can. There's stuff that could be done with this
or
stuff.
just leave the structure there, like say the old train station. Tear it all out, gut it all out, and just leave the cement there so we can have something to look at.
Yeah.
Give
Make a
artists
tourism industry out of it. Jesus, how easy
Steel
would
Town
it
Records,
be?
man. That whole building, they're going to make a movie on that. And I'm the only one who's ever gotten in there either. And it's crazy that the place it's an old house and it's all just rotted out, falling apart. And there's paperwork, there's notes on the wall, there's posters, there's records in the basement rotting away. And nobody cares. But when I went in there and did a film, some guy jumped my shit about going in there. On the internet. That's just how.
And it was open? It was just an open?
Yeah, it's wide open.
We should be clear about that. Speaking for myself, but I believe I speak for Paul as well. We don't break into places. If they're closed up, we walk away and go to wait till somebody else breaks in.
Why would you need to break in any place in Gary?
Yeah,
it's all wide open.
It's all wide open. So, okay, we're nearing the end of this first test podcast. Somebody asked a question, which I think is a good way to tease future episodes.
Uh-oh, I got a teaser. Can I put my shades on for it?
Sure. What's your favorite site you've explored? Now, we can tease what the story may be about a place and just mention the place, you know what I mean, and set up that story, but then we won't tell it now because, that's only, you got to leave
I don't
people
know which
more.
way I want to go on this one. I have two in my head.
You just, with the glasses on, it's a few seconds behind on the computer.
I don't even know which way to go. I have one of the two. One is the Deep River Outdoor Education Center, and two is the CSI building in Gary.
The CSI building?
Yeah.
Oh, the one that you're talking about? The one we just went to? Okay.
Yeah. That one, I've never seen all the explorers.
Because that's like
Okay,
real life left behind.
I'm going to go with that one.
Yeah? That was your favorite one, huh?
Not favorite, like it made me happy favorite, but I can't. My mind was just so blown. There's a couple of them in there. The Steel Town Record one is, my mind was, but that one, man, that was people's lives. And just, okay, all this stuff they left behind. I mean, you can't help but to think how many people that affected. That place was full of bagged evidence sitting under the water, rotting away. And then as soon as you step on the side door, you can smell ribs because the guy was right around the corner cooking ribs.
Right.
Blows me away, man.
Right, yeah. There's
it's
such,
so unique.
It's funny you say that because I have a similar thing right here in this studio. You know how it doesn't smell like exploring right now? Right. If you go open that cabinet, it smells like exploring.
You told me about that.
Because of the old Lew Wallace yearbooks that we found in there. That's awesome. You know what? I was going to say something. I was going to say Dunbar Pulaski was my favorite because of how blown away I was at the power still being on, the amount of stuff left in there.
How long has that been closed?
Since last May.
And it's still
the power was still on. It's off now.
The school we went to? What was it?
But Lew Wallace is my favorite, I think.
Spalding had the water running in the basement. Wasn't it Spalding next to Emerson?
Yeah.
Remember in the basement, the water was still running?
I don't remember
that. My brother called the water department.
Yeah?
It was shut the water off. It's been closed for 20 years now.
Yeah, no shit.
Well, yeah, but I mean, pipes burst in the wintertime and stuff happens and it just runs. Like, who's paying the bill for this?
I think to answer that guy's question, my favorite was, it's Lew Wallace. It's the one that got me into this fully. Like we went to
my high school.
We went to the Castle House. Then my aunt suggested we went to the houses on Ridge Road. Then we went to Union Station. Then the Gary Bank, Palace Theater. But like once we got into a school, that blew my mind, and that's how I felt first seeing you guys. That was my favorite, I think, is Lew Wallace because of the connection to our history, which we'll go into in future episodes. If we decide to do another one of these, let us know what you thought of the episode. Leave a comment, share it. The good quality audio episode will be on iTunes. We broadcast this one also on Facebook Live. Go to Lost to Time. There's a group on Facebook. If you're seeing this, you're probably in said group, so I don't know why I said that. Go to donteva.com, DONTEVA. That will take you to my YouTube page, and check out the daily vlogs. Check out the Lost to Time playlist. There's over 100 episodes in there. Go to Steel City Storm on YouTube. It's at Steel City Storm on YouTube, right? You know it. And what do you have coming up that people should be looking forward to in the next day or two? Do you have anything in the pipes? I have a couple in the can. That one that we did with those, the last Explorer when we got caught by the cops and went to another place. You're going to love it. Because remember when you fell through that thing and you said, please tell me you filmed that? Yeah, you got it? Oh, I filmed it. Okay, sweet. Yeah, so, I may need that footage to put in mine, to put in my vlog. Oh, and also, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm going to be releasing a couple of lost footage. You know how I do lost footage ones? Just clips of stuff I don't use? Yeah. I have a couple in the can right now. All I have to do is just kind of tweak them up and put a name on it, and they'll be up online here soon. But I'll hopefully do a lot more stuff with you. I really enjoy hanging out with you. Now, this is probably the last time I'm ever going to talk to Paul. He's kind of a pain in my ass. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. This is the part about... We're so different. This is the part about urban exploring that has been beneficial to me. It's allowed me to... When you get out of high school, you don't have that reason... This is fucking ironic, and I didn't even think of this before I started saying it. When you're in high school, you're obligated to be around all these people all the time, so you develop friendships. Right. It took me going back to high schools to be able to have that sort of a circle in my adult years. Right. And I'll leave you with that. Like I said, check us out on social media. You're Steel City Storm everywhere. I'm at Comeuppence. And he's all over my channel too, by the way. If you go to either of our channels, you'll be able to find the other one from there. Oh, and can I do one more little quick thing? Sure, go ahead. If you go to my channel and you look at the playlist, there's one that says Gary Videos. It's got 100 and something on there. And there's another one that says Collaborations. If you hit that Collaborations, those are videos that when I was with somebody else exploring and I went to their page and just added it, like with you and a couple other people, people that I've been out with, it's basically their videos that I'm on. So, you know, if so you just like made a playlist and put their videos into it. So they're not even on your channel, but they're on your channel. It's on my playlist Collaborations. Right. Okay, that's a good idea. I should do something similar to that. I'll throw some of our collabs and something like that. I don't really have anything else to say at the end of this. Send them off? Go, send them off. On behalf of the Steel City Storm, yeah. And Lost to Time, the Savage Storm is on the rise. And I got my man right here with me. We're going to make big things happen.
We're talking game shows, videos, all kinds of stuff. So make sure that you check us out. God bless you all. Don't litter and just do the right thing.
Yeah, I mean, check us out next time. Don't have not subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you later.
Ciao.
I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.